You're first for once. That's crazy. That's crazy. How's the flight? I mean, I know, but you know. The first chatting, yeah, doesn't happen often. As in, I think that's the third time. Usually, Sonny's first. Kinda. Like him as well. Kinda. And debatable. Yeah. Golly, that is slow. Slow. So slow. God damn that. These lights are bright. I wasn't ready for that. I mean I was, but I wasn't. So yeah, how's the home? That's gonna be the question, I guess. For you, now that you're back. Home. Place. Thingy, that. You missed it? Did you really miss it? Or did you just didn't want to stay where you were? The Zoom while blurred is pretty impressive. I wasn't planning on that. You missed Brussels? You missed the fries? You did. You did miss the fries. Yeah, that makes sense. I get it. I get it. Yes. We've had like almost nothing happen. And it's sad. I mean, things happened. Let's be real here. Things happened. Things that I can share, not yet. So almost nothing happened. I spent like the past basically 2 days coding. Another thing I hope I would say one day, but yeah. Yeah, no ice, indeed. Indeed, no ice. I agree. I do think that like having your own space and room and all that is a pretty good thing, as a creator specifically, but as a human, I think some people have some issues with that. God damn, that was bad. With like personal space, being alone. Yeah, we are going deep in the deep already. It's 6:33. God damn. Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of people that don't have the ability to stay alone. I have a feeling that you are one of these people as well, as in touch depraved really quickly. So there's that, but there is also the living on your own and having your own willpower and activities options. And yeah, I don't know. I love to not be bothered. So peace is good, and when no one is around, peace is there. So I do like that. I do enjoy peace. Yeah, that's the issue. You have these, which is not good. I mean, not good is a weird word. Which happened, let's say that, where it doesn't for me, not really, or if it does, I don't notice them. Different things, and yeah, 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 shit happens. Brain is weird. Do that. If it works and if it helps, I think that's the most important thing, right? It needs to work, because what I was in therapy and I was doing like some counseling and all that, not necessarily therapy for sure, because the person that I was seeing wasn't like a licensed therapist, but was in school for being a licensed therapist. And then on the last session that we had, he finally had his license, but that was the last session. Technically, right, couldn't really do as much. The thing that we have discovered together was the fact that technically didn't really need him for anything, because most of the thing that we had talked about and that we explain, and the tools and the behaviors and the improvement that I was doing, all of that I was doing on my own already. So, not as necessary as I thought. It might be necessary, or it might be good to go back to it in, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, if that's a thing. And yeah. Yeah, you overprocess things, but you overprocess things with your knowledge of things, which I'm not saying that it's like non-existent, but it's like a different type of viewpoint than me as well, right? It's the same. We agree on that. It's like we both processes our things at a specific time, a specific rate, and also in a specific way that is aligned with what we know. So our processing is limited in a way, and when we have someone else coming from the outside and seeing and helping us process the same thing in a new view, that is helping, I guess. So if it's a good person and it helps you, that's all that matters. You know, that's all that matters. Um, mhm, mhm, mhm. I'm receiving an email from Amazon about the delivery for tomorrow. Um, and they're saying your delivery might not be. Uh, how can I say that? It's in French, so that's why I'm trying to uh, translate. Uh, Deliverable. We might not be able to deliver in the mailbox because of the size of the package. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Let me see if I have the screenshot that I. Oh no, I don't have the screenshot that I sent you yesterday. Um, sad. I can't show you. But yeah, I have some energy drinks crates coming in. This is yeah, it is a crate. It's a pallet. I think I'm getting more, or at least the same thing that my gym is getting. So damn, that's good. I need to order my usual perfume and also testing out new one. What do you mean you can send it back to me? Oh, do you mean the image? Yes, no, I have access to it if I go through our text, but I don't have access to it in my pictures. I think I took a screenshot and then deleted the screenshot. Let me rephrase that. Took a screenshot, sent it to you, deleted the screenshot. So yeah. Yeah. Also sending like sending a picture in Instagram message sometimes they disappear. Sometimes they stay. Like here. Yeah, crates. As I kind of did the math, the girl math on this one for what I'm getting, and yeah, it's gonna be cheaper overall. As I said, like I'm usually paying 250 for one can, and now it's gonna be 280 for two cans. So yeah, that that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I've been paying $5, $10 here and there every other day, like 2 to 3 times a week since July. Yeah, it's not the best. Not the best. Anywho, we have some news-ish type of thing that popped in on the internet, specifically on Twitter. As always, a lot of people have been starting to share a lot of detailed shots and design things. Some of them I kind of want to touch on as current, future trends. Like these gradients in the app that I'm building, I kind of have this already, and now that I'm seeing it pop in more and more, I'm thinking about not having it because it seems like it is the current trend. And so if I have it as well in a different color, it's blue on my side for now, it might not really stand out. So we'll see. There was that. That was the first thing, and then there was also these things that I've been preaching for the past 28 years. I was 2 when I started. Big ass fonts are kind of making their way in some designers' head again, which I've been wanting to have. And so this person specifically have been talking about big fonts for a while, but also in the example of streak count that we had last week from someone that just came in and just shared some design. They also had like some big fonts happening on their design, and I feel like this is also coming back and finally arriving, meaning that I will move away from that because I've been preaching for it to happen, and now that it's happening, I need to move out. So big ass font are probably gonna come in, and I just kept this one because it's the organic straight, non-straight grid thingy trend. So if you've seen that, yes. Oh, I have my one of my perfumes is so expensive. I forgot the name. It's a green one. That's all I know. That is all I know. We've been looking for one of, no, not the French website, one of these for my sister when she was here, and I have went with one of them. I forgot. I think it's this one. Yep. It is exactly this one. I remember that it is green. Still, hi. Good day, morning, time zone, all that. And yeah, it is usually Uh, uh, for the regular boxes or bottles or things, mainly because it's French, so obviously overpriced, and the flacon, that's the name of the bottle in French, is really cute and in glass, and it's nice, and it probably costs the brand 5 cents to make. So that's expensive on their sides. But it's good. It's good. We went to the store. I think I can say it's a store. It's kind of it's different French. With my sister, and we were trying to finesse the people there to give us like testers, because testers for this brand specifically and for this lineup is not available. You can't have testers. That's not a thing. They don't allow testers, because if you have someone in the street that have testers and that smells like the high-end fragrance, it means that you are not part of the elite clubs that can afford that. Jonathan, hi, welcome in. So they don't allow fragrance. What they allow is for you to buy a bottle, and when you buy a bottle, you are receiving the tester and the bottle with the ability to test the perfume and the fragrance, and then send back the original bottle if you don't like it. So right now, the only way for you to have a tester is to do that, like buy a fucking $580 perfume to just test it out. So we discussed with the girl that was in the store, with my sister, and then we found the one that she was looking for, my sister, and it was nice. And we were like, oh, could we have like a tester of these, because I'm not sure if it will stay on me and I will like it for the day, because it's kind of strong, all of that like regular perfume testing bullshit in high-end stores. And they were like, let me see if we have that. Very French. And they had. So sister got one. And then I started to talk to another girl in the store, and I was like, oh, I'm interested in this one, but it sounds really acidic and a bit too fresh for me. So do you have like a perfume tester or something that I can have to see? And if it's fine, I'm gonna come back next week to buy the bottle. And they were like, usually we don't, so let me see with my manager. So she went to the same girl that we were talking about or talking with earlier, and the girl was like, yeah, of course. So we had 2 testers for free without having to buy anything. That was great. That was great. But yeah, other than that, the rest of the lineup is okay. I don't think that I like it much in terms of perfumes, not in terms of design. Design wise, it's pretty good, but also like they have like fucking candles for $120. Nah, no, not going to do that. Anyways, going back to this thing I was talking about. So most of the design trends that I'm seeing have been like these gradients at the top, which is kind of same thing here, even though it's subtle. You have the head of the phone that is a bit lighter than the feet footer of the phone. So that gradient thingy is something that is coming in slowly, and I think it's going to be pretty impressive. I kept these ones because these big ass fonts are really good and also make sense in terms of where things are. So yeah, yes, please. The second one was less good at first spray than the first one. So we're gonna go there. Uh, I guess pack. I don't know. Dirty and Sticky, which is the second one that I had, it smelled kind of worse. I, I, I liked it. Um, what? Not as good as the second one. Um, and I like both now. I've been trying to go through thing. Today I was on not Fig Porn. Yes, Fig Porn. I think, whichever. No, I was in the Indecent Cherry today. And it's too cherry, fake cherry. I don't. Not the best. So, yeah. They, the second one, I wish they had like the bigger bottles that I could buy because that makes sense. And yeah. I haven't bought expensive juice. Sorry, yeah. Dark and Drunk was really good. A lot of smoky thing. So if you like smoke, like cigarettes, tobacco type of notes, these are much better. Drunk Lovers is just cognac smell. That like the first hit that you have is just that. And these are cheap as fuck. They are testers though. And it's pretty good. And Sex and Cognac is the same thing. It's just like it's just alcohol flavored. It's good. It's good. Anyways, big phones, new phones. People have been laughing about that on iPhone, saying, "Oh, this is the evolution of the iPhone. It's the same thing." And then that person was saying, "This is the evolution of the DSLR camera in the past 30 years. Nothing really changed." And it's basically just the fact of, oh, we found the form factor that works, and we kept with it. So, dang. Drunk Lovers is good. Yes, it's one of my favorite from the set. I like Mud. I like all of them. It's just like the Not Safe for Work is not my favorite for one specific reason. It smells close to my neighbor's perfume. When I'm spraying it, I'm like, ugh. It feels weird. She's been in the rain, Stony. That's why. She stinks, yes. So there was that, and then this happened on Monday. Sorry, it is Wednesday today. I forgot. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Not yet. And we talked about hyper minimalistic portfolio last week, and I had this one in mind, and I couldn't find it, and now I found it, so it's there. So if we want to go back into the minimalistic website discussion that we had last week, we could, because now I have the source and we can go on there. But yeah, I think I kept something else and I can't find it. Yeah, same thing. Is if you can see, I don't know if you can see that on screen, on stream. The gradient here is something as well. There is a bit of a gradient in between the top gray and the middle white-ish. So it's extremely subtle, but it's the same thing as the first design that I just shared. That's again, it's just a trend. People are doing that, so I will probably not implement it as I already have implemented it. Um, but yeah, other than that, not much. Um, not much happened the past few days. Um, the cherry one is not good. At least for me, it's a bit too fake cherry, which is weird. But yeah, 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 yeah. I yeah, I like that. I kept it because I like it a lot. It's not that complex in terms of uh, building it per se. It's just a big ass circle. Cool. But it's the transitions and the way that things work together that is pretty impressive. Though the functionality and the efficiency of this design is kind of shit. It is kind of shit. Um, so yeah, this still works. I was debating putting on the first one that you sent, which is the profanity filter, and I couldn't because I had other things to do. I might at some point. I'm not saying no. I am not saying no. Um, Let me see if I can see or find the thing like that. Yes. And this, yeah, that's the thing that while it was happening, I was saying we need to talk about that specifically. That carousel having the gradient to emphasize the roundness of the picker is pretty impressive. And then the color accuracy for the tone and the uh, bright light, cool tone, warm tone for the picture is pretty interesting. It reminds me a lot of what Figma has done for the tone of voice for the Figma slide picker. So if you haven't seen that, it's basically that. This thing where you can say, oh, I want something that is more professional, less professional, more something, wherever you want to put it. But that is similar. It's not the same, obviously, because this is for text and not pictures, temperatures, but still similar. It's not the first tool that does this specific picker, so I do like that. Someone talked about the fact that they had created something really similar in terms of texture for the multi-dot matrix things in the background, but I don't think Apple duplicated that. I think this is just a basic tone matrix that we've used. I mean, I've done that in the past as well. So yeah, I think that's about it. There as well. That now you can't unsee that. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, this is pretty. Yeah, this is pretty good. I don't know how useful it will be. I wish it's unlocked, or I wish for it to be as unlocked as we can, so that we can have other apps, other tool to use that and say, oh, you have like a touch sensitive things or touch sensitive thing on the side. Actually, hi, welcome on. So I want that to be not API, but like iOS Swift UI accessible, because it could be good. Could. We don't know yet. How are you, Debshi? I have some things for you. Good things you're here now. Good things you're here. Um, I don't think they reduced the cost of the phone by $30 with that. Maybe by 3 cents in terms of material for the metal, but also it's machined. It's a machine cut plus a glass panel plus sensors. I don't know if it's like really. They haven't dropped the camera for the pros. They have dropped the camera for the regular one, yes, 100%. It's the camera that is useless. So, I get it. I get it. And also Gia that have been here in the past created that preview potential in February, and it just popped in to be true. That was impressive. I think I have done most. Yeah, I think I have. Most of the thing that I kept this because I think that Denny would like that mostly. But yeah, I have something for, we talked about that on Monday, so that's good. I have something for you, Stony. I don't think you care because this is a Mac app, so right? I don't know, but it's interesting. Yeah, something for Debshi as well. Um, is it that? Nope. That, yes. Something for Debshi first. So you had, or you asked, well, again, nothing for you yet, but hi, welcome on in. You asked about this thing, and you said something for accessibility because the top and the bottom is going to be inaccessible for the two extremes. For me, I would be accessible at the bottom, and for Stony, that wouldn't be the case. Which I get. This is a really good question to have. This device is 180 at the top or at the top of the screen. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, anyways. But nonetheless, you have multiple options for accessibility for your button, and it depends on the use and what you are supposed to be doing there. You said that you would have 3 buttons, roughly, right? That's what you said, 3 to 4 buttons in total. So what I recommend, not really recommend, but like kind of recommend having like a main central area that would be okay for most people. I'm not saying that this UI specifically is going to be good, but a blob-based central hub for activity could work, and you can take a look at home automation, like IoTs and smart homes apps, like control panels. These will have a lot of references for you to get central space clicks, mostly. But that might not be exactly what you want to do. So I kind of need to understand a bit more. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try to find something. I mean, basically this. Like you have this in the center of the panel, and then you have something at the top, something at the bottom that is not really actionable. Like the next button is a big ass button, but the cards in the center could be like 4 cards. Um, if you need to navigate between them, and it's always the same, and it's some sort of a you can see the 4 pages at all times. I think swipe navigation would be easier, as in um, as in if you have like the full screen things, and you have screen one and then miniatures underneath of the 4 options, and then you swipe on the screen and you go to option number 2, that could be good. The thing is, a tall person can reach the bottom of the screen with no issues. Denny, hi, welcome in. Um, like that is a zone where they could tap for sure. It's just not a zone where they would tap like this. They would tap like that. Looks kinky from underneath. So that can happen. You know, as the thing have been said, knocking on a door is not necessarily hand raised. You can knock from the bottom. So that's a thing that people can do. It's not the most obvious thing to do, and for tall people, it might become easier to do that. So I get it if you don't want that. But if you have the ability to like just swipe through your 4 cards, if it's 4 cards with 4 different actions, as you said, four screens, and I can navigate between them, I get that. But yeah, that's a bit of the idea that I had with the blob thing as an ID. Is these kind of layouts that are not straight, obviously, because nowadays this is the current trend, and so we need to keep that happen. Yeah, I mean, it's basically going to be a tab bar with 4 icons or 4 titles at the bottom of the screen, and then if you swipe through your things, you will swipe through the 4 icons. But if you tap directly on one of the icons, you go to that screen specifically. So yeah, always pretty good. I've had a bit of an issue with the Japanese learning today. It was kind of harder than usual, which is good, but also sad, but also good. So yeah, you know, that. It's good. Overall good. So something like this at the bottom with more icons, like 4 instead of just 2, and then you have your pages in the center. Like it's a tab navigation. That's what I'm thinking. If it's really navigation between 3 different views, and the 3 different views have different actions, but the bulk of what you're supposed to do is going to be in the center of the main thing. Um, I feel like a tab bar at the bottom is not really an issue if you can swipe. So it implies a hint that the swipe is an option. It also implies potentially doing something like one of the carousel that we've been talking about, or that we've been seeing, like on these. Okay, and I found the thing. I doubt it. Shit like this. You know, that the fact that I know that there is an option to scroll up or down, and that you just scroll the image. It's the same thing. It's the same idea. Having a bit of on the side, saying, "Oh, there is something on this side and there is something on the other side," that could be a hint enough, like they to help the user know, oh, okay, that there is something on the side and I can swipe from side to side. So if you have like a navigation like this, like that's basically what I have in mind. So if that works for you, I feel like this is gonna be good. But again, because I don't know the content of the views, I'm limited in my ability to help on this one. If you want access to this, this has been posted multiple times in the reading list and or inspiration resources, whichever I have done. It's there. There is this one as well that we talked about last time. Both of these are really useful and they contain like a ton of micro interactions and rendering of things that work really good and really well for animations and transitions. Like that. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. If you have like a bit of a hint, that's the usual thing. If you have like a main screen and you have your carousel that is like, let's say this is your carousel. This is not enough on the side to know that there is something that can be scrolled, but if you just do that, it's not much of a difference. You still have like, that's impressive. You still have like enough understanding that, oh, there is something on this side, and that's all you need. Specifically, if your view is gonna be somehow here, like the top is gonna be filled, but the bottom, as I just said, might be something like that. 4 icons, maybe. Or titles with text, if you prefer. A vertical tab menu would work if you go with something that display the tabs on the side. So, what is it? God, they must scroll too much. That is gonna, I mean, the question goes back to the same thing. Do you need titles? Because if you don't need titles or you don't need anything, you can just do that. You can just have your selectors and say, I am currently on the first one, and the other 3 gonna be this. God damn it. And then when you change the selection, this one is going to be smaller and this one is going to be like extended because it's the current page that you're on. So if it needs title, I think on the side is going to be kind of complicated to have it make sense. And also it will take more space. Because we want money. Like if you wanted the... If you did it vertically instead of horizontally, and you did something like this instead, right? And this is the active, would be the other way around, but that would be the active screen, which is the first one. I feel like you lose, or you potentially lose, like a lot of the visibility and all of the content. Um, that's different, but it could work. It really depends on the content. I'm 100% unable right now to help more than what I can currently, because I don't have any understanding of what is inside. If I knew what was inside of this, and you tell me, oh, it's similar to the McDonald's menu, and then the side is going to be like a list of items. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%. But if you tell me like this is going to be like a lot of content, and you have like navigation, and you need to see the stores, and you need to see other things, I'm going to go with the navigation at the bottom. That's going to be way easier, specifically because I'm looking at this, and for me this is like a, it's not necessarily like a menu things. So if because I don't go to these kind of shops. um, it is an ad display. That's yeah, that is kind of what I had in mind, like a mall display things. Um, so that, yeah, that was my ID. It was like just ads. Therefore, you can swipe between ads, and it's like kind of automated, and you can go back to the previous one. Um, yeah, which is this thing right there, I think. And Denny, yes, I agree with that. That's why I have boots. That is why I have boots. I mean, obviously, yes. But if you look at this, right? Obviously, it has been built for ideal target height for the people, but you can see that the main button is going to be there. It's the lower, lower, lower button. And then when you need to pay, it's even lower. So for tall people, you know, you know, right. So I don't think. I think they do take a lot of space at the top to reduce the reach that the shorter people needs to do, but they don't do the same thing at the bottom for the taller people. So, eh. Even if it is not a real design, it is not meant for tall people. This specific preview thing. Nonetheless, that doesn't change the fact that this is basically the thing that I had in mind with the ads ish, navigation ish thing. But I don't have a ton of experience when it comes to I mean, for me, that's what came to mind. That's why I'm really in there. That's what I had. in mind immediately when I saw the device. I was like, oh yeah, that's a navigation thing. So it's gonna need to be just enough for the people to be able to touch it and go through things and click on the thing that they need to do. And then you said 1, 2, or 3 to 4 buttons. I was like, yeah, cool. That makes sense. No. I'll do that if you do one. No, we'll never do that. So yeah. Um, nope. I will never let you choose the exercise. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. The only exercise I can do is this. So, I mean, technically this. I'm not, yeah. Right. That's what my brain went to. Specifically. I need to change sides for that. We can, but, yeah. Always excuses. Always. So yeah, that's if that's the other option. If you have like 4 buttons and you need to navigate through things, then this makes sense. Having like the split and just give the ability to the user to just say tick 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 tick. That's good. But yeah, again, you can see how these specific buttons at the bottom might not be highly accessible for taller people. But yeah. I think this is the welcome screen. I mean, technically, you don't. You have your QR, not QR code, like barcode thingy scanner here, so that people will come in. There is like an empty screen that I think should be like similar to one of the things that we've seen. Where is this? God damn. There? No. Similar to one of these. Right? Something like this with fat ass fonts. Let's say work on it. Do something, scan your code, whatever, like a hint. And then, yeah. And then have the, have something. But yes, that's a navigation option. That's the other option that I had. But if it's really just displaying data and just letting the user have the ability to navigate through things, 4 buttons is good. And if it's really active scrolling type of thing, I feel like a swipe is going to be good for accessibility wise in the like taller ranges, I guess I will say that. And for people that are taller, it might work. And yeah, you have the camera at the top to take picture. I don't see the point, but why not? Sort of these. Basically, it's one of these. The camera at the top. But yeah. If it's one of the, going back to what you said or talked about or um, hinted at, it's a gym related things, then maybe, you know, scan your badge, define your background if that's the thing. I don't know. But it's an option. It's an option. I don't know if taking a picture is really a big part of the design itself and of the product itself, it might be important or interesting to implement it. But if it's just a side note and you can take picture if needed, yes, then meh. I don't know. Again, because I don't have much information about the project and the product and the content, I am left out in my ability to just help more. I don't know why I came back here, but I came back here. That's the thing that I was talking about, Stony, that, again, I know you don't care because it's a macOS thing, but this popped in my radar, and it's a better file system for people that are in macOS. The person that talked about it was a dev, obviously, and it's a better folder sorting type of thing with a kind of command line behavior. So for people that have the ability or the habit of navigating their computers through like command lines, that could really help. So I kept it because I feel like it's interesting, and you were looking for some file sorting management things a while back, and they might, I don't know, they might have a bit of an interest or interesting documentation in there. So just as a base, you know, check it out, and it could be good, could be interesting. Just for the docs, just for knowing how things work and how they made it. The fact that they have an API could be interesting as well, but like the person that talked about it was saying they redesigned the entire thing through their like the customization thing and also through like the terminal to build a theme for that. Similarly, then building a theme for your IDE, it's kind of the same thing. So yeah, I think the way you manage work, I still think I'm missing a piece. Anyway, I try to organize. I feel like I'm coming up short. The deadlines are all close together, and everything is a priority. Some deadlines are too short sometimes. I feel that. I'm not, and Stony, I'm not saying that this is interesting for you specifically. I'm saying that it in the way that they have built it and the behavior that they have underneath, like the underlying file sorting, could could be interesting for us to have like a bit of a behavior definition, because I don't really have any interest personally in going other or using something other than Finder for navigating my files on macOS. And you are complaining, for example, about Windows 11 changing their file system sorting thing and using the Windows 10 version because Windows 10 is better for you. And I get that in terms of functionalities and things that have been removed, for example. I know you can't test it. I'm saying, like, look at the docs, look at the API, look at the way that they have built it, and that could help. I don't know. It's a fox, also. Hey, yeah. Eh, it's a fox, you know. I knew it would go through. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and touch on that. Then going back into the deadline related things, I have two things in the way that I personally manage work and deadlines in general is I am pretty fast. So nowadays it is pretty rare that I have a deadline coming up and I haven't finished the work 3 days prior to that. That's the first thing. The second thing is if I know that the work that needs to be done is greater in time for me to what is allocated, I will just explain that to my manager or my clients and say, well, right now, with the amount of work that that will take, it's going to take us 2 more days to achieve what we want to achieve. So instead of trying to just uh, force myself to be good and on time, I'll just say I'm a one person or one person team. I can't really delegate to someone else and make that go faster. And if we had to delegate to two people, the time it would take me to explain the product to someone else to make sure that they are efficient enough to understand would take us the same amount of time. And so at the end of the day, we would need 1 or 2 more days. So that's the first thing. If the deadline is too short, try to just say that. If also, when you are planning the sprint, have a good meeting. Take care of yourself. We'll see you after, yeah, for sure. If you are in the sprint or in the planning phase with the client and or with the team that you're working with, if in your head you are saying this is gonna take 2 days, you say it's gonna take 4. That's the best advice that I can give you. If someone is asking you how long is this gonna take, you know that you will take a day to do that, you say 2 days. You know that it will take 4 days to do that, you say 8 days. Like you say a week or a week and a half. You never say the exact thing that you have in mind. Because if you do, and something come up, you fucked. And that's the main point. So in order to avoid having a deadline coming in and just not being able to uh, manage that timeline, you need to take a buffer, and so doubling the amount of days is usually pretty good. If you go from 10 days to 20 days, that's a bit massive. So taking like a 4-day max as an addition is going to be good. If you know that something is going to take 20 minutes and you say 1 day, that's good. If you know that something is going to take 1 day and you say 2 days, that's good. If you say you see 6 days and you say this is going to take 2 weeks, 4 weeks, which is like 10 days of work, that's okay. But that can only happen if you know how fast you are. So in order to do that, you need to work as much as possible, in order to know your speed. When you know your speed, you can plan ahead accordingly. But the most important thing is going to be telling the team, oh, that's going to be taking a tad more right now. So yeah, almost double most of the time. That's going to be the easiest thing. The other thing is, right now, you are a contractor. So you are not an employee of the company. You are mostly an employee of the company because you are working for them 100% of your time, as far as I know. Kinda. But you are a contractor. So things can happen as your freelancer job work. And you can say, well, for next week, I have another client coming in or starting next week. So this deadline is not going to be feasible. So we need to have a bit of leeway here because I need to manage other clients and other projects that I'm working on, even if it's not true, but you can always say that and just say, well, I don't have the time this week to allocate like that amount of hours to your project specifically. And one of the things that we do, which is pretty good in terms of salary wise, money wise, is if you want me to put priority on your project, it's going to cost you a bit of a premium. That's the thing that you do usually later on when you have been working with a specific client for a bit or something, and you have more clients coming in. You can say, well, you have the priority line, and that's instead of being like, I don't know, I'm going to say weird numbers, but instead of being like $1,000 per day, this is $1,200 per day, and that's the priority line. And if you take that, then I am basically ensuring that your project is priority, and I'm going to work on that first and then work on the other clients. But I still need to work on the other clients. So that's a thing that you can do. It's not necessarily recommended, mainly because it like you end up with one client that pays most of the money, and then the other clients, if you have other clients, you just don't work for them. So that's not good. But if it's the case for you and you just have one client and you fake a secondary client, which is a good thing as well, monetary wise, like money wise, that can help. That we talked about a deadline and feedbacks aren't coming in, so product can get delayed at that point. Yeah, that's also a good point. You can also bring that up. Mix, hi, what going? How are you? You can also bring that up. You can also say, this has been sent to you 3 days ago, or 2 days ago, or X amount of days ago. I'm still looking for feedbacks on it. Is it good? Is it not good? I'm not working on anything else until I'm getting that feedback. So anything that was supposed to get to the deadline is not going to be done because I haven't received feedback on that thing specifically. And that could push them into giving you feedback quicker, and also push you to get the information you need for the next steps of the deadline or reaching the deadline in time, which will not happen. But yeah, if it's a feedback related things, then that's on them. I don't know if you've seen Brett's Design Joy system, which is like a Trello board where client get a Trello board, and then they have tickets, and then the tickets goes from doing to invalidation or under review. And when you have the review that is done and it's validated, then and only then can this ticket move into done, finished, and another entry can go into the doing. And so if you have that in mind and you take that approach way of working for your freelance work as well, then it just means that if the ticket is staying in invalidation for a long period of time, that's on the client, and you're just waiting for validation, and nothing else is done in the meantime, which means that you work on the other client's work in the meantime, which is pretty good. If I know that a deliverable needs to be used in real life on the date and you aren't giving me feedback on it, I need to move and make sure the project is ready for a specific day. Yes and no. You do, but what you send, you assume that it's good. I hope. I hope. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about things, but I would say you assume that what you have and what you are sending to the client is good. It might not be 100% finished to your standards, but it is good. So what you assume if you don't receive feedback is that has been good enough for them. It's good enough for me. It has all of the data that they need. And the reason why they don't say anything is because they like it. And they could say, cool, we like it, thank you. But maybe they didn't take the time to say that. Therefore, this is your brain's default setting is, yeah, I like what I did. It contains 99% of the data or 100% of the data that it needed to contain. Therefore, if they used that, I would be happy with it as the designer. And if they needed like some tweaking here and there, they would ask. If they didn't ask, there was no tweaking needed. So you can go with that mindset. And if that's the case, then that's why they haven't given you feedbacks on it, which is bad on their end, but it's on their end. But yeah, I think that's a way to see it as well. That could help you to navigate faster and yeah. If you have the need for more things, like for the same deadline, if you have the need for multiple files or multiple deliverable that they need to have access to a specific date, and they only have one, and you're waiting for feedback to ensure that this one design direction is good and the rest isn't done yet because you need validation of the design direction, I get it. But if you know that the deliverable that are left, like you're gonna need to do them starting tomorrow to be able to have them done and finished by that end date deadline, then just do them in the same design style because they haven't given you any feedback on the first one, and then do the rest. But if that's not the case, if it's just like you had one and they are waiting for one deliverable and that's it, then you're done. One of the things that you can also do, I hope no one from that company is watching the stream, but in your waiting time, you can bill your waiting hours. You know, you've been waiting for 4 days for validations. So in the meantime, you've been tweaking things here and there. You've been moving things around to ensure that you have like different variables, just in case they were giving you like some feedback at some point. But you've been working on that and waiting for feedbacks, and you've been working for them for the past 3 days, moving buttons to the left, then to the top, then back to the right, then back to the left. So that can work. But yeah, if you have like multiple clients and multiple products and multiple things, and still like you don't have the feedbacks that you need, you can send them a message and just say, I'm still waiting for feedback on that project. Where are we on that? Is the deadline still there? Mira, hi, welcome in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? First time, I think it's the first time I'm seeing you on YouTube. I think. I'm unsure. Have I seen you before? I don't know. Myra, Mira, I don't know. So yeah, they send them a message, Danny. I think that's gonna be useful, easier, faster, and then assume that it's good, which I think you already do. But assuming that the work that you are doing is good is a pretty good mindset. So if I go back to your question, your initial question, it's not the deadline the issue. Like you don't end up at the end of or close to the deadline and be like, I still have so much work to do. You are close to the deadline and you're like, I'm still waiting for feedbacks. So the issue is not on you. Like your work is good. Your speed is good. What you're doing is good. It's just like the client isn't responding as fast as they need. So yeah, and if it's 90% approved, then assume it is 100% approved. Also, one of the things that can happen is you have a meeting that is um, a discussion about the previous version before you send the last one. And in that discussion, the client said something along the line of, "Yeah, if you change these things, then we good." Therefore, they assume that you know that it is validated if you change the thing that they talked about during that meeting. So that might have happened. It might have slipped out of your brain while you were discussing the progress of things. But then again, you're never too sure, and sending a message doesn't cost much, as in almost zero, probably 2 minutes. And then, it's enough. I think for me, it's like kind of enough to just have the information and be sure I have the things. See, it's not a you issue. And it's not a work issue, like a you working issue. So your first question was not really about deadlines. It's mostly about client communication. Tape Ramen, hi. It's muscle cut! God damn it. Thank you for the short. Yeah, if it's mostly feedback, then it's not you. You don't care about that. I mean, it's not that you don't care about that. It's just like the end of the week is in 2 days. Canada is midday right now, so they basically have 2 day and a half. And if you just send them a message right now saying this is about the end of my day, I'm still looking for feedback for this and this. Where are we on that? I'm hoping to have like some feedback when I wake up. Maybe they reply immediately. Maybe they reply when you're sleeping. I don't know. But at least you have something. And maybe they don't reply. That's a different thing. It's kind of sad. But maybe they don't reply. Yeah, that can happen. And Mix, I think you blew it out. I think you missed an opportunity. And the thing is, Mix, for you specifically, if right now you were to contact them, you would look desperate, and we don't want that. So, yeah. As I said, like this happened multiple times for me because I'm expensive as fuck. God damn, I can't speak. I'm expensive. And I've asked for salary like amounts that were mostly higher than what they were willing to spend, and I just never heard from them again. So the thing, Mira, we are on Twitch, so on the other side of the stream, I'm streaming on multiple platforms at the same time. We are talking most of the time about design, and if you have like any design question, feel free to ask. That's the main point of the stream. And so people on Twitch, mostly, you can see them at the bottom of the screen, are asking questions, and from there, I'm trying to help. For a bit of street creds on my side, I've been designing for like 18 years roughly, and I've been mostly doing some digital things for the past 14 years. So I have some knowledge. I know stuff, and I can help most of the time. So that's what's happening. And yeah, if you enjoy Twitch and you watch things on Twitch, come to Twitch. If you'd rather stay on YouTube, you can stay on YouTube as well. That's both sides are appreciated. YouTube is mostly a magnet for me right now to bring people here, the other side of the internet. But yeah. Like for example, one company, they had like a budget of like 60K or something, and I asked for like 80K, mainly because I didn't want to work in that company. And that's what happens most of the time for me, is like if the company itself is offering a job and
TG_Khalil just resubscribed for 31 months. AAA or AHI?
Khalil, hi, welcome in. Thanks a lot for the resub. 31 months, goddamn. That's a lot. Yeah, appreciate it. Welcome back. Enjoy your emotes. I hope you're good. So yeah, if the company itself is doing something, they're looking for a designer, and they're looking for a senior designer, which is my case, and the company does stuff that I don't really like, but they are still offering a job, I will ask them for more than I would be willing to have on a regular job. For example, this one was doing some insurance, like not life insurance, but like car insurance, house insurance, algorithm thing to ensure that the insurance company could get paid as much as possible based on the user data. And so this is shit on its own, right? It is. Also, Marvel and hi, we'll call it. How are you? And so for this one, I knew that they wouldn't be willing to spend like too much. So I asked the HR person, I said, what's the range for this thing? And I asked for the high end that they had. And I said, well, I was hoping for something around there, but it's negotiable. And even though I am absolutely fine with 60K, I asked for 80K, which is like 20K more per year. And so if they were to like reduce that to like 75, I would be fine. If they reduced that to 60, I would have been fine. But just because I'm asking for way more than what they were expecting to spend, I never heard from them again, which is good because I didn't want to work for them in the first place. So that's what I do when I'm asking for more. And if you haven't heard from them again for the past 3 weeks, that probably means that you blew it. And it's fine. It happens. You need to just find like another job option. You shouldn't contact them. No. If you ask for something and then it's been months, that's probably why. And then you go back to the thing and you say, well, you know what, maybe I can take less. It makes you look desperate, and they will even more lowball you in their offer. Like if you said, I don't know, I'm gonna use a different number again because I don't have the numbers. If you asked for 60 and they were willing to spend 50, and then you come back and you're like, well, I can do 50, they will propose 48. And because they know that you came back to them, you will accept the lower offer anyways. Because 48 is still like in the 8%, like under the 8%, it's like at 6% of your increase kind of thing, instead of 12%. So that the thing that will happen. So that's why you don't go back, you don't ask them, you don't send them things. You can send a message as where are we on the process? Like, I haven't heard from you in a while, where are we in the process? That could work. But if you are saying, I'm still really interested and I would be willing to go lower than 12% increase, that is desperate behavior and people don't like that. Most hiring people don't like that. So, yeah. One of the things that also happens, it depends on which country you're in and what are the company's policies for hiring. But a lot of hiring managing team are paid a percentage of the salary of the person that they hired if the person is successful in the company. So it is in their benefits to have someone that is paid more, because the cut that they will get at the end of the probation period is going to be more significant if the salary is bigger. But that doesn't happen in a lot of companies, and it mostly happens on in big companies that have the means to spend money on hiring people, or on the hiring people. If that makes sense. It's not often. So yeah, sending them a message I don't think is a good idea, personally speaking. But you do you. At the end of the day, it's a you thing. Stoney, I had a question for you. Did you do something on the TV thing or not yet? Still did. I guess that's the answer to my question. Again, calling. Alan, hi. Welcome in. How are you? It is Wednesday. I am still not there. Drink! Fair point. Fair point. I'm gonna need to refill that soon. That seems to work. Overall. I don't know if I can. It doesn't seem to let me click on the play button and do something about it. So, I don't know if I can. The quality check doesn't do anything. I don't know if that's a you thing or me thing, as always. And then the current subtitle works, and the play button doesn't. It changes after it changed. It doesn't change here. That's what I'm saying. Also, question: is this I mean, this is the the desktop version of the player. This is not the TV version of the player, right? I mean, technically, this is going to be overlaid on top of the player. So, yeah. God damn. That knows. So, what do I need? Do I need things? Specifics? Network and check. Disable cache? Where is that? Oh, there. Thank you. We have an error. Not much, though. Most of that is pretty good. I don't know what the HLS thing are. Yeah, something. Can I zoom in? I can kind of zoom in to a degree. I don't know if that helps at all. Mm-hmm. 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 Or just refresh, just in case, you know. Just in case. Also, I'm kind of in the preview thing, so I'm gonna close that. Oh, I hate this. I don't understand how and why this thing right there cannot unzoom ever, because just refresh that. Yep, still broken. Test that out. Nah. It's broken. Well, it can. As in, my browser's just grow. We have that. Oh, it lags. Oh, ooh, I'm not gonna play anything, anyways, because, you know. Then full French, Scrubs. That is interesting. So clicking on the French subtitle doesn't change the subtitle here. Reverted to Italian doesn't update, apparently, or it needs to be playing to update, potentially. Also, there is no fucking voice, so that's not gonna help. it reverts to Italian. Okay, so it needs to have something playing at the same time and subtitle to be used to apparently be reverted or swapped. But now I switched to French and it didn't switch to French. And if I switch to Italian, it switched to Italian immediately. If I switch back to French, it doesn't. But English does. So I feel like one of them is not downloaded or parsed properly to have the data, probably. Though it works, but it's just the French don't work, which is fine. I'm happy with the French not working. But it's not to be displayed if it, you know. Then does Russian work? Can you give me some places where they speak? They do speak. Yeah, I think the French file doesn't exist. Which is crazy and really good. Though it didn't change the quality when I clicked on the new quality while playing, which is interesting. And in the settings, these things are not there, so yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen that style in hentai. Most likely, but we can't play it, so that's good. That's good. No, the ship is not working, so that happens. Right now, makes the players what Stony has been working on, and that player is using like a lot of things and getting data from a lot of places. The thing is, Stony, when I'm clicking on non-HDR, it doesn't change. I was on SDR in the first place, but after a bit, it didn't really, like it reverts to not that, and then it doesn't do shit. Just kind of sad. But Stony is working on that player specifically in dev, and we need to make sure that it works, and that's what we're trying to do. That's about it. The rest is pretty simple. But the rest works. The playlist is good in terms of layout. That's enough. Like, it's also really easy to work with on TV in terms of layout, again, because you have like 2 columns and it's fine. The speed thing, yeah, why not? But yeah, I don't know why you split them and then you have access to both when I'm clicking on that. Like, speed is here and speed is here, and then playlist is here and here it's the same thing. So mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. It's kind of not working. It's buffering. It is buffering. I have a cached out force refresh type of situations thing. Let me undo that as well, and undo that as well, and that. There is no playlist. We are currently listening to this, which probably not gonna help. But this is the current playlist, I think. Hey, not really, but kinda, yes. That specifically, which is DMCA free music for your streams. It's still buffering. Mm. Anyways, it doesn't change much in the fact that it doesn't really um, answer the question that I had. Did you do anything on TV yet? Or did you just do something on the player? Not saying you didn't do shit, just saying, like, just asking. Loki, hi, welcome in. What do you need help with? Tell me. What do you mean flying blind? You have the layouts. That's all you need. You have the contents on desktop, and you reuse the same things. That's it. It's not that hard. And even then, I wouldn't use what we have on desktop. Anyways, I would just use system things if I could. Anyways, this is buffering. So I'm gonna say. Buffering. Did you share something, Lokesh, somewhere? That we can have a look at? Hmm. Oh, you may have been in the ads. Sorry about that. Or maybe you're typing a long ass message, which is a pretty plausible thing. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Going back to the discussion that we had on Monday, when Friday last week, about sponsors of the channel. Some of the things that we have as a potential, and some of the metrics of success have been if it's a game, for example, it's installation of and retention, and then spending money on the thing. So if there was something game-wise related where you would be willing to install the game and play the game for like a month or something, or sporadically throughout a month or 2 months, what would it be? Like, kind of design related as well. It could be like Duolingo if that was a thing. I don't know. But if that was a thing, are there things like this that are interesting to you? Anyways, I was making a dashboard and there was 4 different graphs that I want to place a button which on clicks we show insight or about the graph iteration. I want a fresh ID. How can I trigger it? You can trigger an information related things with a teeny tiny eye next to the name of the charts things on your dashboard. Redmer, hi, welcome back. How are you? You can also have a button that says more info. That's always an option. You can just click on the card, like if it's a desktop-based thing, the hover of the card is going to give you the pointer finger from your cursor, and therefore you can imply that there is a click. It's not the easiest to understand, but if that's an option. What else can you do? You can you can also have the same thing on hover. Like on hover, you have the pointer, but you can also have the card itself like kind of grow to showcase, oh, there is an interaction that can happen right there. So you can do that. And you can do that, like an icon that says expand in a way. It's the same thing as the tiny eye. But yeah, how can I share or show the AI insight? As in, AI has looked through the data and it has insight for the user. And you want to disclose that it is AI generated and not like user generated. Is that what the question? The current state of AI related things is gonna be the tiny shiny icon next to it. So you can do that. You can have like a block of text that is gonna be enclosed in a multicolor block, similar to the new Siri AI design thingy. I don't think we will have pitch. Like for Apple related things, when you are asking AI related stuff, the keyboard is multicolor. There is like a ton of interactions, animations, tiny shiny things here and there. So you could do that, a block inside of the card itself that contains like information related to that. But I feel like most of the time it's going to be the regular cards are going to be white, and then the AI related stuff is going to be kind of colorful to ensure that you have the understanding that it is coming from outside. Guess this is the easiest way of doing it currently. But yeah. I personally, I wouldn't disclose that the thing is AI generated. I know that's a bit like counterintuitive, specifically now when everything needs to be AI and people needs to know where AI is used. But I would just say that this is the tool working, and that's about it. But that's the type of car that I would have, like tiny, shiny, sparkle icon, and a banner type of thing that has that type of gradient, saying, "Oh, this is AI powered insight," for example, um, and yeah, it's that. Yeah, for me, that's gonna be the easiest way to implement it, by the way, because you can really have or take or do um, something like a banner or notification thing. Let me see if I can have that. Eh. Like you're gonna have something like this, right? And it just has the icon. It has the icon, and then this is saying AI Insight. That's about it, I think. Um, it makes the question and the answer is going to be the same as usual, which is this. We've talked about that. UX wise, this is what you need. This is what you need. What happened? I did nothing. You did that to yourself. Uh, I did nothing. So yeah, Lokesh, that's mostly it. I don't think that I create a banner that is more colorful than the rest is gonna help. If you have, if the insight itself is short and easy to understand, it's just like if it's a chart, right? And the AI is telling you, oh, it's trending up, and it's been trending up for the past X months. Therefore, it has a relationship with something else, and the obvious relationship is the sales of a specific item in your store. I don't know. I don't know exactly the work that you have, but if that's the case, then the AI could say, based on the data of sales, this element of profit, for example, is going up because that specific item is being sold more than usual, or more than the past 30 days. And that's enough to give information to the users. And so that's if you are like on the charts, uh, maybe. Like if you're on a chart and you're doing this, and inside of the tooltip, um, you have a thing that says uh, went down because item 34 has sold less than the previous month. That's it. That could be enough. It could be enough. It would imply that the tooltips themselves are going to need to have like more data inside of them. But yeah. pioneer. Let me read that big ass thing. The new player is fully custom. I only use HSL.js. I don't know what that is. You also make it all work. There is no UI and everything is event driven. The player exposes everything and can be extended with plugins. The UI is a plugin. The keyboard trigger is a plugin. Yeah, the word plugin is not the word that you want to use, but yeah, I get that. Yeah, that works as well. Yes, that's another option that you can have, and it's pretty simple to have like this. God damn it, this data right there. You have your charts, and then you have total sales, and then underneath you have a bit of a block that says AI related data. I don't know, like a bit of a information thing, or maybe you have like a full on card here saying AI data. It's going up because, or it's going down because, or it has been trending up. I don't know. I don't know what type of data you have in there, but yeah, it could be inside of this, inside of anything. Did anyone made a storyboard design instead of a dashboard? What do you mean? Storyboard design is different than, or at least the thing that I have in my head right now when you say storyboard design is different than what I think you have in mind. So I need more data. Because for me, storyboard is name. Like image by image, frame by frame for a video or something. You mean more storytelling based dashboard? Kinda. Uh, if you go on Twitch and you have the about section, which is the recap, this is gonna be a recap from you to you, or from you to the streamer specifically, and it's mostly like a storytelling based thing where you can see what happened, what you've used, what has been used on the channel, what is related to you. God damn it. That is an option as a storyboard storytelling thing, but it's basically a slide presentation. So I don't know if I would call that a storyboard, personally. Yeah. I need to create a new badge. God dang. That's the top clip. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, that's an option. Organist, orga. Organist. Oh, god damn it. That? No. I doubt it. Yeah, I don't. Either I can't type, highly probable, or that's not the name. That's different. Why did you? Why spaces? Give me the link so I can click on it. You safe trying to not send link. No space. Yeah, I would have done that. God damn, so many spaces. Why so many spaces? Why? That's a very Slack 2018 landing page. It's interesting. That's slow as fuck. God damn. Lokesh is not new here, that's the thing. Or Lucky. Lucky has been here since before you, Stony. Lucky's one of the first viewers. It's been a while. Haven't been here in a while though. I agree with that. I don't see a lot of insight data in there. Also, that landing page is really bad. I don't know, force of habit. Most people on Twitch don't have link allowed in their chat. So if you are watching other streamers and you share some links and you get banned, you just don't attempt it, which is why I'm like on John's stream where you sent us last time, or the one prior, I forgot. I just tried to send the link and I got owned. So you know, all that kind of sad. Yeah, I feel like this is basically what's gonna happen. You're gonna need to have like some AI related data, and it's gonna need to be in a card that is colorful with a gradient in the background with the tiny icon next to it. I think. I think that's gonna be the easiest way. It's muscle time! The bar is squeaking. Don't like it. It scares me. Thing like this. Yeah, I mean, that was the YouTube one. I think that 4 video is going to be pretty insightful with potential AI insights for sure. But eh. And this one is kind of the same thing. Yeah, like that. Things like this could be like basically what I'm saying with the right icon and the right content, the right title, saying this is the AI insight if you really need that. But mm, mm. I'm trying to get that. That could work as an option as well. To tell the user, oh, this is insight. But yeah. Felixia, hi, welcome in. Yes. 100%. But hi. Same question as usual. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Stream can contain sexual theme because we're talking about porn, we're talking about a lot of things around here, and it's an open community about a lot of subjects. Therefore, and also I say fuck a lot, and it is called mature language. And in Twitch terms of services, if you are swearing a lot, it's goes in that category. If it makes sense. That highlight, Lucky, is kind of a good option as well as a structure. That's debatable. But yeah, I see what you are kind of looking for. It's not really saying fuck, it's mostly the when I'm updating the stream and then I have the content classification, the profanity and vulgarity is what I have, as in significant profanity. Again, I say fuck a lot, but I also have other words coming in at times, and so that is classified there. And then sexual themes is because we talk about anything, sex workers, sexual activities, at times. Therefore, it's better to be safe than sorry. So I do like that. I do like that. It's pretty useful, to be honest. And yeah, like we did watch the Apple event. It was kind of shit. Not kinda. It was absolutely shit. Nothing happened. The announcement is empty, and I feel like I get it. They need to keep the track record of keeping up with have a good sleep, Mix. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I appreciate that. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon. They have a track record of releasing new things every year. Therefore, they need to release something new this year. And I don't get it. They said brand new redesign from the ground up, and it looks the exact same. And then the improvements are incremental improvement, so they can only compare it to 2 versions in the past. Otherwise, the increment is tiny, and it doesn't really matter. It's not really useless. Because it's not just Zoom, it's a lot of other things. But What I would say is that it shows me that you don't have any use for it. Yes. But if you look at like Sony, basically it's an Xperia lineup. I don't know where we are right now, to be honest, but the entirety of the lineups of the Pro phones from the Xperia 1 Mark 5, my Mark 6 right now, they do have that side button for pictures because it makes sense for Sony. It's the same thing. It's basically the same thing. The main difference is that the Apple one is capacitive and the Sony one is touch. It's touch. It's tactile. So real button with real force control and all that. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I do like it though. That's the main thing. Oh, ASL at the bottom. I like that. I call it ASL though. But yeah, other than that, the watch is the same. The AirPods are the same. The AirPod Max are shit. Like they just changed the vault and kept everything, changed the color because they needed to. That's really bad. Like this year event has been extremely bad compared to previous ones. I think it pivoted to photography or movie creation in the iPhone 13, iPhone 12, iPhone 13. I don't know which one it was exactly, but like when they announced that they filmed the entire event on an iPhone, that's basically when they pivoted. And then most of the time for content creation, like TikTokers, YouTubers, the iPhone is the easiest camera that you have to record a video. So it makes sense to go all out on camera features. Also, again, I'm going to rephrase that, content creator in the US. Also, people in the US. Like the market share in the US for iPhones is 80 something percent, I think. Somehow, but yeah. The action button is there, but it's not gonna help you, or at least it's not that good. I used it more when I was in Japan. Yeah. Basically, it is currently set to Google Translate for me. And it's really useful because when I have something that I'm not sure about in Japanese, I can just press that button, have access to Google Translate, find the right word, and be done with it instead of looking through my apps and then finding the translate apps, all that. But that's about it. I can also like do that. I have my quick access to my secondary camera here, and I have my quick access. I could have my quick access to my translate right there, and it would be good. But the action button, to be honest, is not useful. I really don't touch it. Like if I wasn't heavily learning Japanese and actively learning Japanese, I wouldn't use it. It would have been set like no action. Probably. It was that for a long time. Because I had Google Translate on my lock screen as a button for a while. and then I transferred that back to the action button. But it is mostly useless. It could be really useful if I were to create some automation with shortcuts, like iOS shortcut thing, like they have an app for automation in the software. If I were to build shortcuts to do a lot of things at once, yes, it would be really useful because you can just press the button, launch the shortcuts, and it does the entire thing in one go. What? There is nothing that I need to do in bulk so often that I need the button to do that. Yeah. I mean, for payment related stuff on the iPhone, you just double tap the power button and you get access to your cards. So no need to press on anything. But if it's a specific app, yeah. I get it. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's probably the same thing as PayPay for Japan, I guess. Yep, it is. Yeah, it's not exactly the same because PayPay is kind of different, but it's the same. I guess it's one of the same concept when you can have everything in there, and it's all of your banks if you have multiple banks, all of your loyalty cards, point cards, redemption discounts, all that. So yeah, it's pretty useful when I'm in Japan. I'm not. Yeah, I'm back in France, sadly. I had to come back. I'm looking to go back, but I can't find anything so far. I also know that the Japanese market right now have been not lowering, but like reducing the amount of hiring that they do. Thank you for that. So it's slower right now. It is slower. Can't do anything about it. I can't. I wish. I can't. So we'll see. We'll see when things happen. For now, nothing happened. I've been like seeing my bank account stay stable. I haven't really digged too deep or received too much, so I'm like fluctuating at the same level right now, which is really bad for me. It's way lower than what I'm used to. But yeah. Yes, the PlayStation prices are $700 in the US and 120k in Japan. 120k in Japan is currently about. It's more expensive in Japan. That's all I'm gonna say. To a degree, but yeah, if you buy it in Japan, it's gonna cost you more. So that's kind of sad compared to previously. Previous consoles like the Nintendo Switch, for example, is $100 cheaper if I buy it in Japan compared to France, for example. I think now the French prices for the PS5 Pro is 750 euros in France, and it comes out to 720 in yen. So it's the same thing, and so buying like the plane ticket to go there and bringing it back, that cost so much. So yeah, the easiest thing that you can do when you're doing the conversion, even though it's fake, you just get off 2 zeros at the end of the yen value, and that's roughly the conversion for Australian dollars, for example. Right, hi, welcome in. How are you? How's your day going? Yep. Like if it's 699 for USD, it is cheaper to buy in the US than to buy in Japan, which is crazy for once, because it's Sony. Japanese company. Do you think for the Japanese people? I don't know. It's, yeah. Uh, 1,000 yen is $10, roughly. $7 in dollar if you are in dollar. For me, it's 6 if you're in pound. What is the fucking thing? It's 5. But yeah, as I said, in salary discussion for companies in Japan, I would be paid 10 million per year. It's in yen, but I would be paid 10 million. And so when you're saying that for or from countries where the word million for currency is high, it sounds like it's crazy, but it's actually not. You can buy a lot of things. You can buy a lot of things for 1,000 yen, as in, like some of these things, these ramens are 1,000 yen, which are pretty expensive to be honest. But these are 1,000 yens, and these are bowls of ramens, so it's like $5, $6 for a bowl of ramen, which is pretty good. In some of the cheapest parts of Japan, and even cheapest part of Tokyo specifically, you can find bowl of ramens that are like 200 yen, 250 yen, and God damn it. That's cheap. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the Japanese food in general is pretty cheap. Like Family Mart, 8, I guess. That's so bad. Have a good night. Okay, thanks a lot for stopping by. I appreciate it. And I hope you find a solution for your inside thing. Like, let's say I'm looking for Famitiki, which is really common. This is 220 yen or 200 yen, I forgot. You have some bentos here and there. You have like a ton of things that are really cheap, and it's really good. I basically lived off of these uh, sandwiches and bentos and things last year because it's cheap and it's good and it's cheap. Did I mention it's cheap? It is cheap and good. But you can go to any places, basically any places in Japan, any small shop, and get something for nothing. I think the video that I kind of shared 2 weeks ago of Ike-chan going into a specific part of Japan being like kind of or not Japan, Tokyo, Flora. Hi, hop on in. Where the fuck is this? Here, for example, she went to that part and the food. Where's the food? There. She had a meal, full meal, which is like a soup. We have like a bit of a preview after, but in that full thing, you have a soup, rice, some nori, seaweed things. There is some fishes. Right there, you have some corn and some daikon. And that was, as you just saw here, 170 yen. Going back to our trusty calculator. Point proven. And this specific thing where she is right now is a specific part of Tokyo, which is still close to one of the like famous places area. You can probably see like the Tokyo Skytree Tower, which is one of the really popular places, and basically on one of the side streets of Tokyo, you have where she was for 170 yen for lunch. A pretty good bento for the price with a lot of content. Have a good night, Stony. Fix the macOS thing. Lol. Take care of yourself. But yeah, also that video specifically, I like it a lot because it's also shows that in a part of Tokyo that is extremely close to the center, you also have something that a lot of people say doesn't happen in Japan, which is trash. And when I'm saying trash, I am saying trash everywhere. I wish I could see the spot specifically that we were talking about earlier or in that video, which is there. Like the entirety of things. Trash exists in Japan in some places. And when there is trash, there is trash. Like it's not one bottle here and there. It's just like trash. This part of this park or this street or this specific thing is just for trash. And that's about it. But the rest of Japan is kind of clean. So yeah, as we just saw a second ago, from the initial place here, everything is extremely clean. The street is extremely clean. And then she goes in another side street and things are not. But yeah. that happens. Nonetheless, cheap. So, based on where you are in Japan in general, but also in Tokyo in general, you can find meals and things for 1,000 yen that are really good. If you go to a convenience store, it's going to be more expensive than other places. If you go to moms and pops types of shops, that sounds, it's going to be cheaper. It's going to be good. And we're going to love that. So, yeah, one of the ramen shop that was like downstairs from where I lived um, was 570 yen for a bowl of ramen. And not like the most basic one, but a pretty good one. And then you can obviously add topping on top of that and just have like more meat or more eggs or more other things. And it's obviously going to be more expensive, but at the end of the day, it's still pretty cheap. I think the bentos are going to be the cheapest things. Um, uh, let's see if this one has previews. No, this shop specifically in midday time has a bento outside where I used to go for lunch. And if I go to another side, maybe no, not that, not that. God damn it, maps. They don't want to move me faster. From time to time, we had food trucks like this one right here. And for fuck's sake. And that food truck specifically, I don't know if we can see the prices, but that's also the same thing. That is 500 yen, 800 yen roughly for lunch, and it's pretty good. We also had like another one right here, and from time to time we had another one here. Though this one, which is a curry place, pretty good, pretty cheap as well. So I used to live right there, so that's why I know that street specifically. But these are like shops that are coming in and out really quickly. And then if you go into the OK store, for example, this is just a department store the supermarkets type of situation. But they do have these things, which are freshly made bento, freshly made sushi, obviously. You have some freshly made pizza, you have some sandwiches, things that are made every morning or technically every day, and it's good and it's cheap as fuck. Like, as you can see, that platter of sushi is like $7.99. I mean, 799, 800. Yeah, still cheap. Much cheap. It used to be cheaper. It depends on the shop where you want to go. But yeah. So to answer the question again, with 1,000 yen, you can go. You can eat. You can eat much. That's yeah. It's gonna be it. It's gonna be it. The floor. How are you? How's everything? And yes, I've seen Nico Kato video. I don't really have anything. I don't know the person. I heard about them because of that video, And from the thing that I've heard, it's not a good human being anyways. So I don't really care. Like, again, it's the habitual famous YouTuber activities. And yeah, he seemed to have been like pretty interested in some not really adult people at some point. So, you know, that happens. But again, that is just people saying things. So I don't know if it's true. I don't care. If it's true, it's bad. If it's not true, it's bad anyways. So yeah, I don't mind. I don't really keep up with the news. I just have the Penguin Zero most critical giving me the news. That's about it. That's all I see when I'm here, and Moist has a thing to say about something. I'm just watching that, if necessary. But yeah, most of my feed is just these guys building things. That's what I like to watch, because that's fun. And Japanese lessons, for obvious reasons. I don't have a choice. So sad. Anyways,
Fearless Fish 12 is now following.
Fearless Fish, hi, welcome on in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Welcome on in. I said welcome on in twice. I hope you're good. I like your name. I'm kind of sad about the 12 at the end. I feel like Fearless Fish would be good. But you may have no choice with the 12, or maybe 12 is significant. If you're interested in design, well, you're in the right place. If you have any design question, feel free to ask, as always. I'm here to help design-related stuff. I mean, I'm here to help for anything, but if you have whatever question, feel free to ask. Because you're new, and I haven't said that in a while, remember that there is no bad or wrong or dumb questions. At some point, I didn't know how to do rectangles, so maybe that's the question you have. So don't hesitate to ask whatever. And also, yeah, that happens as well. God damn it. I'll figure it out. It squeaks more than usual. Like, really more than usual. I have no shoulders. I do have worked out my pecs yesterday, and I'm still sore, so that's bad. Also, these movements are doing the front of the shoulders and not the back. So I'm gonna be the classic bodybuilder style things where my back is flat and the front of my shoulders is just bulky, and I don't like that. I haven't seen that, no. That's interesting. Is it real ads? It's not. It is. It's interesting. Well, at least it's that counters based on scroll position. if he made 22 cents from me just bitch, from me just scrolling, is pretty good. Oh, that was crazy. I didn't see any of these. Yeah. That's good though. I like that. Here you go. Hi, welcome in. Thank you for the ads. I don't know if it works. I think it did. I think it did work. You know, that's the first time I've seen this. That was the first time I was seeing this. So that's interesting. Again, that's a thing that could happen, could still happen. Ads are still an option for a lot of websites. You can have ads to maintain like cost and things, but I feel like the amount of ads, as you just saw, that you need on a web page to be able to be profitable per view is kind of huge. Like the amount that they needed to display to make like 30 cents. It's not good. And I mean, if it's 30 cents per person and that website is getting millions of views per day, then I'm good with that. But yeah. I don't know if there is no way that it's 40 cents. Like there was a lot of game related ads. So that pays. Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know. The ads can't play for you because you don't have, I mean, you have a sub. So you basically sent ads for the people that are not subbed. Thank you for that. Yeah, because you have you yeah. Sub you sub, therefore no ads. Good. I feel like this is low. Like this is kind of low for today. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't care. I mean, I do like the follows, but you know. How was your day? Here you go. Not everything. What was I saying? Ads. Yes, ads on a blog. I think could be good if you have the right ads. And that feels like a good thing to do. Like if at the end of the blog or at the beginning of the blog you just say, this blog is funded through ads, so the next 3 scrolls are going to be full of ads. If you want to support me, just scroll slowly. If you don't, skip here. Like click that button, skip the ads. Potential, you know, like just an anchor that gives you a quick access to the next bit of content of the article could be a pretty good thing. Oh yeah. Yeah. Did you see the amount of ads that was on the page? Like we can count them. Like so far you have one big ass ads, right? So that gives them like 0.2 cents based on that thing, counter related things. Now there is this one, and it just raised that by like almost nothing. And then I have more ads, so it goes faster. So far we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's counted as 2, maybe it's counted as 5, I don't know, but let's say just 4, 5. 6. And then 7, 8, probably 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 21. Yeah, 21. So you add up that 7 cents times 21. That's going to give you 14. And that's probably a different currency. Maybe, I don't know. But it's half of what we have here, basically. 14 multiplied by 2 is like 30 something. So 29 something technically. So I guess that works. But even then, yeah, divided by, I think this website is an example for 1000 CPM, which is basically what is written in the second line, second paragraph, the 2 section in red, to explain like how things could work. And it's an experiment to showcase how 1000 would impact things, I think. Therefore, it could work. It could be potential. It could potentially be. That's the idea, I think. I like the concept of it though. Yeah, no, I doubt that it's that value specifically. Like, I doubt that it's 30 cents. But if it was really like giving you 30 cents per 1000 views, that's pretty neat. I mean, I think that's pretty neat. I don't know. Well, maybe. I need to pee. 1 second. I might refill the water as well. Nonetheless. Nonetheless. Any questions? Any design questions? Any things? Any news that happens? God, that's crazy. That's crazy. I haven't, yeah. There hasn't been much that I can share just yet. I've been slowly giving you hints at stuff that I've been doing. The apps is pretty good. If you looked at the latest, one of my latest tweets, here, where it shows that I have spent 28 hours on TikTok last week. You can see that I also spent like 9 hours on something else. You saw nothing. One day you'll see. One day you'll see. I've been trying to get the fucking data sorting, and it's bad. Right now we are parsing an XML file to get the data that I need in the app. The XML file is 116 megabytes. If you know anything about codes, that's heavy for a text file. And it contains 1,200,000 and something thousand lines. And it's not efficient at all. So I've been trying to figure that out, and I've been scrapping the entire app and building it from scratch 3 times. Yes, I am building using Cursor. Yes, 100%. That's the only, that's the only option that I have personally to do that well. Yeah, it is. It is pretty good. I did the basic of it through Claude, like just Claude AI to. In the beginning, I paid for the pro plan of Claude, and then yesterday I started to pay for the pro plan of Cursor as well. So yeah, it works. It's working. It's working. It's pretty good. The fact that I think I kind of shared that last time. Let me see if I can just plop that in. I guess. That's not gonna work. I don't care. If I'm using the icon converted type project that I had or tried to do, and I'm going into some of the source files or some of the code that have been made, we do have somewhere something which obviously I can't find right now. Anyways, there is supposed to be an HTML file somewhere in there, but I can't find it. Nonetheless, doesn't change anything in the fact that if I had something here, I could 100% just ask a question from here, or say, I want to know what this does. I can just add to chat and just say, what does that do? And then instead of doing just an enter to ask the question, I can do command enter to scan the file itself and the file tree, and then it gives me a bit of an answer. That's pretty useful. If you don't know shit. If you do, then, you know, yeah, whatever. But if you don't know, and you're like me, you just want like to understand, you can just ask questions, it's pretty good. And if you need something specific, like, I don't know, maybe I can just go in there and just say, it's right there in the top left, right, top right section. Anyways, let's say I needed like to add like, let's add an index.html, HTML with a grid of icons coming from the source folder, something like this. And so I can just go into, I don't know, the ass cheeks, for example, because that makes sense to me. Like the one selected here, I don't know, I can just press enter and it will just give me things. Let me see if I can just zoom in. And it's saying things, let's create a new HTML, like index.html. That makes sense. It will take this as a, like, as I say, I assume that the other PNGs or SVGs files are in there from the source.svg. So that makes sense. I get that, cool, all good. Therefore, what I'm going to do here is just do a new file. I'm going to call that index.html and just press enter. And then from there, I'm going to copy that, place it here, be good, save that file, be done. And if I need to make some changes or do some updates from here, I can just ask it and say, let's do the thing you added in comments. I like to say please, because, you know, that makes sense. It will just pick up that specific file, check the section that I have, and yeah. They said I need a Node.js scripts to generate that list. Cool, so I probably need like a Node.js somewhere. And in my HTML file here, I can say I want to apply that to that HTML file. It will give me this, which I love the most, which is, okay, that this thing is a comment section thing. It's going to be replaced by this. That makes sense, cool. And I can accept or not accept that, or just accept this one specifically, but not the other ones. And this makes a lot of sense for someone that doesn't know shit. I should just accept that, save the file, be done, move on. And so what I'm doing most of the time is I'm navigating through cursor and Xcode, because Xcode give me like errors when it tries to generate things. And then I'm also using Python for scripts to parse and manage my XML files. It works. As I said, before I use cursor, I created the apps and the skeleton of the app and the working version of the app in like 3 days through only Claude AI. And then I had to pay for it. And then after that, I had access to the thing. It was good, and I did. Basically, in 2 weeks, I had a working app with a concept and a thing. Yeah, Cursor is basically an integration of Claude AI and other AI models directly inside of a version of VS Code. So anything from VS Code is working there as well. If you have like plugins that you are used to use in VS Code, you can enable them here. And it's just like a sidebar for chat that can get context from your file tree, from your files, and it's really good. And the fact that currently Claude is the best for code, that's interesting. And Cursor Small is a cheaper, less expensive, less powerful, but still good. If you just need like something quick, that's enough. And that means that you don't need to pay like for the higher levels. But it's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, in Swift, because I don't know shit, it helps a ton. And yeah, I do enjoy it. Most of the things that I've done have been made through that. I don't even know if I have any of my weird ass things. I don't. You see how many versions of it I have done for the same bitch ass project? Yeah, you need to be careful what it's doing. But it works great. I think I know what it's about. I think I know. But one of the things that I do like is that it is behaving as a project. So for now, like for example, I just reopened the project that I haven't opened in like a month, roughly, and it still has my chats. It still has my past chats, and it still knows where we were, what we were saying, the context, and all that thing. And what I do like, and actually one of the reasons why I deleted like one of your functions, probably because you didn't do the code base check when you asked the question. So in order for it to have like the file in memory, you need to basically either open the file itself and or link it specifically. So what I just do is go in and click on it, and that's enough to put them in memory quickly. So just going through all of the files to preload them is okay and simple. And then in my app.js, I can just ask it to analyze the code and give me refactoring option. And instead of just playing or pressing enter, I'm just going to press command enter. It's going to go through what's supposed to go through all the files. And yeah, it's indexing things. Indexing the SVGs, probably. And apparently I have some potentials here. That I could implement. And so if you know what you're doing, which is not my case, again, that's a very important thing. If you know what you're doing and you understand what is written there, then it's a really good help. And if you don't know what you're doing, my ass, um, and you trust it blindly, it kind of works. I would probably, I would have had to, or I would have been faster in creating the apps from scratch if I had knowledge, which is not the case. But if I had knowledge and understood how SwiftUI works and how all the dependency working and all of that, I probably could have had finished the thing, because it happened a lot of time where it deleted an entire function, it deleted an entire viable name, and then it's just missing. And because I don't really have the habit of saving the files, I lost where it changed the things. So then I'm kind of stuck into, oh, what happened? Why things are giving me errors now? So that's not the greatest. But you know, eh, it's fine. It's fine. But it's a pretty good tool. That's all I'm gonna say. Elemental Magic Card Game. Oh, that's a long ass name. Hi, welcome in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Welcome in. EMCG. Randomly. Interesting. Well, that happens. Welcome in. We are a design community. So, if you have design questions, feel free to ask. I think they are. I don't think there are a lot of design streams. Let me rephrase that. I know that there are not a lot of design streams. So that's a plus for me. But I'm lazy and I don't market myself. And that happens. Which is sad. But yeah, no, actually look at that. I mean, I talked about that last week, but this is just cursor and code. And it works well. And it took me 2.5 hours probably to do, like to figure out. I had to do some research on what is available in SwiftUI because Claude didn't give me like the options. I figured out that trim was an option and I could do the dot trim on the code. When I figured that out, I just prompted Claude and Cursor to help me do that, like give segments, and that worked. And now I have like a curved-ish segment control to potentially do that at some point. Can't yet, but as a concept, it's pretty good. The concept of the AI note-taking app that I did for a job interview, that could be done probably in 3 days as a web page, probably with Claude and Cursor, because the design is done already, and I can just send them a screenshot. It works as well. So yeah, doing that is more complex, but it's feasible. Nonetheless, most of the time, again, that's my face when I'm trying to understand what the fuck it's doing. But overall, it's pretty good. 869. Oh, nice. Or 8069, technically. That's a lot of. That's a lot of. I think also going back to more regular things, code related. I have a feeling that asking Cursor or Claude or any AI currently to do some React code or HTML and CSS code or Node.js code is going to give you better outputs than if you ask it Swift UI like I'm doing, or Kotlin, or other languages that are like not as popular with the dev community, like the dev community that is interested in AI and things is mostly the React community. I'm gonna call that the React community, but it's the web dev, not necessarily the app devs, like the mobile apps devs. So overall, the training data and the accuracy of these AI models for like mobile related code is still good because it's trained on most of the documentation for these code base. But it seems, at least to me, that there is less debugging data on the internet about these languages compared to Stack Overflow, for example, that is filled with HTML and CSS related questions and JS questions. So just with that in mind, building like a React app is easier with these tools than building a Swift app. At least for me, it is. And now that Claude has the thing they called artifacts, you can ask you can ask the chat to just drop, like you drop an image and you just say recreate this in React, and it does it pretty well. One of the other ones that we haven't talked about is this one, which I'm tempted to try out, but the Replit agent is paid, and I don't want to just pay for something, and if I don't know if it's good. So yeah, that's the thing that I'm unsure, but they already have a ton of prompts or preview prompts that seems to have worked, and yeah. So yeah, Replit is interesting in its concept, and in the video that I'm seeing on Twitter, it seems pretty good. Yeah, and I don't know exactly how that works, but that's the thing that I need to try out. Not gonna burn one of my free credit on stream though. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, a ton of agents and helpers are coming out, popped in. So to be tested. That's what I'm gonna say. To be tested, to be checked, And if it works, and if it's good to you, I think that's nice. I'm gonna repeat myself, and then I'm gonna find someone to raid. If, when you're trying it out, and you have no knowledge like me, it's not good. If you have knowledge of code, it's gonna be way easier because you can 100% just go through things, fix the bugs that it's creating, and help go through things. Just remember, make sure to go through. Yeah, give it context. You think it takes the same times? Yeah, I'm cross-reading, Alan, but I agree. I agree. I agree. I've been seeing that, to be honest, with Claude specifically. When I have a project, like in the beginning, when I created a project and I asked something about it, then I asked something about it, then I asked something about it, the quality of the answers is declining extremely fast. Whereas if I create a new chat, I give it context and I ask something about it, like create a new view on the app, and this is going to be the content view, and it's going to contain this, and that. Cool. Then it's going to need to be linked to something else. That's a new chat. Fresh new chat. Give back the context. I need to link this file to this file, and they might be linked to that third, fourth file as well. So let's just check them, and then it works perfectly. But as soon as I have like a 2-day chat, it's kind of Ouroboros itself. Yes, 100%. I agree with that. Longer chat are kind of complicated. What it fails to do specifically for chats is keeping the data in memory. And ChatGPT just installed or updated something to keep or update memory as you go through the chat, which is pretty interesting and impressive, I think. Like when there is a significant change in the main data, at least that's what I saw this weekend, you have like a concept which is put in memory, and then you swapped some of the variable in one of your answers that drastically impact how it can answer you and help you. It will say saving to memory or updating memory, and then it answers your question, and it continues. And then if you do the same thing again, it still updates memories. That way it has context on the entirety of the chat without really losing tracks of what happens. So that was impressive. But yeah, I don't know. It's not really a thing that I defined personally on ChatGPT specifically. It was just I did something and it just said on ChatGPT, just said like updating memory. Let me see if I can. I mean, I know I can't really show you that because it's a hospital related question, but let me see if it's still in the chat. Yeah. It did that. When I replied here, it updated the memory, which is pretty impressive. But it wasn't from a me thing. It was my answer here triggered this. So, yeah, that was nice. And then on cursor, you do a control enter or command enter to give it context with the file tree that it had access to. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is you just add files. Like you say, I want to talk specifically about this JS file and this logo.svg, and I want you to do something with these three files specifically, and that's the context. You can also do the code base enter or embedding or re-ranker for the whole thing, which is whatever, but it works for cursor specifically, which I do like. If that was your question about the memory thing, I feel like it wasn't. But yeah, add like the tiny plus, add something in it. There was someone, let me see if I can find it. There was someone that did a class on cursor already about what people are not doing right. I don't know if I liked it. I have a feeling that I didn't, but it was good. It was good recommendations on what to do, when to give context, when to get full context, and if I can find that, welcome back to it. Are you gonna not make it? I jinxed it. Like again, I know it's not direct, but that popped in as a design. That person said, "Oh, that looks cool. Let me create it through Claude." And 15 minutes later, that thing was working with 3JS and good. That's impressive. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I did that 3 years ago. If you have a question about that, please don't hesitate to ask, because it was interesting to build like something for school. I can't find anything. I can't find anything in my likes. I will though. I wish we had like a scene type of thing. Like you've seen that. But yeah, everyone right now, from what I'm seeing, is using and or showing things. Which effect? The infinity particle thing? I can go back to it. Sorry, it took me a bit of a second to read that. I'm gonna send you the tweet. Yep, I can't find it. And I'm giving up. Oh, that's about Sorry for the flashes and the colors and all that. I know that's a lot in one go. There. Original with inspiration and things right there. So original was from Tatiana that did this thing. I don't know if it's really from her, them, I don't know. It was made with Midjourney apparently. And then from that Midjourney image, that secondary person decided to go through that with Claude and build this thing with probably 3JS. That is just, yeah, just a Pringle. That's just a Pringle. And then made some updates to make it like cursor reactive. So that's the second one. Even though you can click on the profile and have access to it, but still, they're things. It's impressive. If I find it again, actually I will send it to you. But it was a pretty good, like, sorry, this was fun and real fun, but yeah. I think that account became either private or deleted the post for sure, because that's yeah. That's that. Right. Apple just announced its new visual intelligence for iPhone 16, and it look insane. That's the tweet. And the reply was, if only there was a way to learn the restaurant's opening hours and menu when you're standing outside of it. If only. I don't know what could exist when you're in front of it already. So yeah, that's a fun thing. Gonna see stuff. Gonna see stuff. Staying still. Cool. I'm sending you to Vash. It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm tired. So yeah, if I find it again, actually, I will send it to the Discord somewhere that you have a bit of an information there. But yeah, join me for the raid as always. The VOD of the stream is going to be on YouTube, saved in the live section as it should be. And then if you have a question and I'm not live, you can join the Discord, which means that I shall be live next on Friday at 6:30 p.m. Paris time. UTC kind is not a thing, and you can stalk me online if you want, which is on the social link. Everything is there. What else? I said a lot of things, as always. 70. And if you want to give me money, you can sub here, but that's not necessary. Would rather you buy
Mom!
a UI kit, which is much better because you get something about it. It's good. It's a good UI kit. We like that. Anyways, as always, take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your days. All of that. Who won? I can't see. Streamerman. Streamerman what? Mano, hi. Hi, bye. Take care of yourself. Eat something, drink something, be kind to each other. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Drink!